late episode, 2 weeks late, of Geek Gamer Radio, netcast for geeks and gamers. Now broadcasting with multiple cameras for the first time ever. We're happy to have all you here watching the show on Justin TV. And let's go around the horn. First off, joining us here in the studio, Umberto Lenzi. What's up, Umberto? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Did you have a fun weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
Sounders game was awesome.
That's Saturday. Right. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about that. To your left, my right, Mr. John Kessler.
Hi, folks.
What's up, John?
Just sitting here.
Yeah, that's great.
Posting stupid links in IRC.
IRC chat. That's right.
That's all he's good for.
Everybody,
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Everybody can chat with us at live.geekgamerradio.com, which is neat. Joining us also on the lines, as they say, Joe Falbey, as always, from the confines of Newburgh. What's up, Joe?
Hey, not much. How's it going?
Good. Still petting your iPad?
Yes.
I presume.
Is that a pedal pad?
Are you petting it right now?
No, I'm not. I stopped for the show.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for taking a time out to not pet the iPad.
Yeah.
Also, as always, the ever canny David Miller is on the line. What's up, David?
I don't know yet.
All right. Good.
I would just like to point out that the Commodore 64 app for the iPhone is now free forever, so you have no excuse.
Oh, I like how you send me links saying, hey, you got to grab it while you can. It's free. And then it's free forever. That's great. Thanks. Thanks for making me not feel special. And we have a voice from the past. You may know him as a gentleman who started this thing called podcasting with me a long, long time ago. No, it wasn't called Control F12. It was called something different. It was something so epic, so big, so huge.
Lay on the Lord. Wow.
I'm laying it on thick, like coconut frosting. We have again Kyle Rumley.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing tonight?
What's up, buddy?
Okay. It's not his first DGR show.
No, it's not. But no, every time he comes on, because it's hard to get him on because he's just such a busy guy.
Yeah.
And working overnight does that for you.
It does. Working for the man.
Oh yeah, the man, the woman, whoever happens to be in charge.
Mr. Sam, I'll call him. I'll call him Mr. Sam. People know what I'm talking about if you're in the know.
What?
It's a big chain.
It's a big chain of stores across the country. So anyway, welcome. Glad to have all of you here. Glad to have everyone here to talk about, I don't know, gaming and technology. I'm getting into that Texan voice.
What's in that Coke you just drank, or Dr. Pepper?
Some Dr. Pepper snuck into my Coke. That's what happened. So let's talk about the weekend.
Okay.
Next up is sports.
It's time for a sports break with Chase and Umberto. That's right.
How was that Sounders game?
So we went to a Sounders game, right?
Yes, we did.
A lot of fun.
It was. And this was your first Sounders game.
This is my first Sounders game. My first time actually ever going to Quest Field.
Yeah.
And I got to say, folks, I know a lot of you out there, you're thinking, oh, soccer. Who gives a rat's ass?
We didn't even mention that either, so I don't even know if many
people know even what Sounders is.
Right.
Sounders is a
softball.
Major League Soccer game, soccer team, and they play at Quest Field, which is a football stadium and now a soccer stadium, or football, if you want to call it that.
It's an all-around football.
That's right. And anyway, they played on Saturday. They played against the
Wizards from Kansas City.
The Kansas City Wizards, which is a stupid name. But in extra time, or actually you call it stoppage time, the Sounders scored a goal and they won. And I got to say, the atmosphere was awesome. A lot of nerds there, a lot of geeks there. I think it was a lot of fun.
It's definitely festive.
Yeah,
affair.
Absolutely. Joe, what did you do over the weekend? Anything fun or interesting?
Actually, I went out to the Oregon coast, hung out there all weekend.
Why?
Well,
He lives in Oregon.
it was a good time.
You just decided I'm going to go to the coast?
No, I went with a bunch of friends. We stayed in a house out there, kind of near Lincoln City.
Would you call it a retreat?
A what?
A retreat?
More or less, I guess.
Okay. All right. Did you do anything techie or gaming or anything like that?
Not really. Actually, there was a Wii there, but I didn't play it a whole lot. I did go with Cameron, who's in the audience. We went up to Seaside, and he bought a kite. That's not really geeky, but a little bit. And so we did some kite flying and stuff like that while we were out there. But
You flew a kite. Wow.
yeah, I know it. Trust me, it was more exciting than it sounds like.
Yeah.
The kite that we had was it's a 2.5 meter. I think it's 2.5 meter. I don't know. Cameron will correct me, I'm sure. Power kite. Basically, or 2.8. I'm sorry. Yes, he did correct me in IRC. It's a 2.8 meter power kite, which means that it's 2.8 square meters of surface that it's grabbing the air. It basically, in about a 20-mile-an-hour wind, if it was in the power zone, it could pick me up off the ground. And Chase, it could probably pick you up off the ground too.
What are you trying to say there, Joe?
Oh. But
I'm saying
overall,
that
yeah,
the
it's a
only
sports
person in
kite.
this chat room that may not be picked up by the kite would be Kyle.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
But no,
He's
it's
tied
a
with the earth
really, really
or
powerful
something?
kite. It's the kind of thing that you could throw on, grab a skateboard or something like that and go down the road at, I don't know, 40 or 50 miles an hour.
Is it also a type like considered a sports kite that you use for like tournaments or something?
No, this is just, Cameron just got it for recreation type flying. I don't think he's going to get a cart for it. But.
Oh, got it.
David.
I didn't do it.
All right. Kyle, what'd you do over the weekend?
I worked.
Do you
Okay.
get
Sorry,
time?
I can't give you any more witty
That's
commentary than that.
That's all right. I mean, do you get
I worked. The
time
most
to
fun
game?
I had was going out with my honey today and meeting one of her old friends. That's actually my excitement, and it was pretty cool.
I could totally twist that in a bad way, and I
No.
won't.
No, you won't. So
Not if you want him as a guest again.
No, you mean not if I want him as a friend again.
Oh,
he's
that's-
more than a
that's even
guest.
worse.
He's more than a guest. He's my friend. All right.
Friday night, I got to make a fool of myself in front of a room full of drunks and sitting near me called Carbondale.
What do you do? Karaoke or something?
Close. It was an open mic thing at
Oh.
at some club that one of my friends drug me to, and I got drunk and got on stage.
All right. Nice. All right.
Managed to insult an entire room of people and get a laugh.
There you go.
I got to say, I had a great chance to finally. This didn't happen last week. It happened the week before. Unfortunately, I was down in California. My mom passed away, and no one needs to keep crying about it. I've gotten through it in different stages and nightmares and stuff. But one of the positives out of it is I got to meet one of my heroes in the tech world. If you want to call him a hero in the tech world, or a visionary if you want to add it, Mr. Leo Laporte. A lot of people don't know, but they do This Week in Tech and lots of other awesome shows out of this little cottage in Petaluma, California, which is in the area of where I was going to be. And so I, made arrangements so we could jump in and watch a taping of one of his shows. And, I got to talk to him a couple minutes. I even got a picture with him, which is great. The coolest part, though, was one of our listeners, Pete Michelonis, was just so happened to be watching the show that we were taping at called Windows Weekly. And I was tweeting that I was there and putting it in Facebook that I was there. And all of a sudden, I get this response or a message from Pete saying, "Oh, my God, I was watching this video. And I was like, hey, that doesn't look like Chase. Well, wait, that's Chase. Why are you there? What the hell are you doing there?" And so that was a lot of fun. Leo's got quite the technical setup that makes a lot of nerds. I don't know what word to use, but you can fill in that blank. So
I'll just use it.
no, drool. There we go. That's a good word. That's a neutral word. So there we go. So I got to do that, and that was a lot of fun. And I'll put some pictures up in the episode 23 post on the website. So let's like, I need to pick a top story, and there's so many top stories that are geeky and gaming related. I'm going to go off the board, and I'm going to pick something top story that is not geeky, not gaming related. Top story for this week's episode: Conan O'Brien is going to TBS.
That's geeky.
That's geeky, really? Okay, fine,
Oh, wait.
maybe. Conan O'Brien.
Conan fanboy.
Well, we've talked about Conan before on the show. Press release sent out by the cable network. TBS is going to host a late night show with Mr. Conan O'Brien. It's going to be at 11 o'clock Monday through Thursday. Friday will be a taped show, probably. And George Lopez will be bumped to midnight. Irony there. But hey, I think this is a good move for Conan. The reason being is that Conan has more freedom and luxury to do what he wants to do. He can make his show a little bit more edgy if he wants to. On top of that, the network already has, based on ratings and demographic information, a younger audience as opposed to the main networks like NBC and CBS, where their audiences are getting older by the day. I think this is a good move. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't get cable. But whatever. You guys have any opinions on this, Umberto? I mean, do you care?
I'm all for Conan still being on air, but I haven't followed all his shows.
Oh, that's
like
fine.
that.
That's
But,
okay.
Yeah, I'm good for him. Definitely. I mean, I don't know anymore these days what actually is the audience for TBS, but
Young people.
young people now.
Yeah, a lot of young people.
Okay.
I mean,
What's the average type of show that shows for their prime time?
Law and Order.
Okay.
House.
House.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think.
I don't watch TBS.
Oh.
No, he
Dun,
watches the
dun.
Canadian curling channel.
So, well, yeah. I mean, if you consider it the young people, even though you're young, I guess you didn't. You can't really put your part of it.
Well,
or...
can I comment on that?
Sure, yeah.
Of course you can. Absolutely, old man. Go ahead.
He's older than I am. In fact, I think he's older than Mr. Old Man John there. So think about that now. Young, define that. What do you mean, young? Young would be me. I'm younger than he is. So is John.
Younger average age, I guess.
So what do you think, Joe? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
Yeah, Joe. What do you think?
That he's going to be back on TV. He obviously
GI.
he wants to be. I'm looking at TBS's website. Here's the list of their original series. These are the shows that they produce: Meet the Browns, My Boys, My Manny, Tyler Perry's House of Pain, and The Very Funny Show. I guess he's probably going to be the funniest guy on TBS. And one of the only white guys.
That's true. Considering the number of shows that show are African American,
Right. I mean, he's going to be. I mean, he's what, Irish? He's going to stand out on that network just a little bit.
It's the hair.
But I mean, I'm definitely all for him to succeed. As far as monetary wise, but I don't think he needs to. But I mean, just for the purposes of actually having a fan base that wants him on air, then I mean, all for it. I mean,
Yeah.
there'll be this new audience that actually moves with him. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it could.
New
revitalize
audience to
TBS.
TBS. New audience to TBS possibly. That'll move.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good move for Conan. He'll let him do more things. David doesn't care, right?
I don't watch TV.
All right. Well, that's fine. No big deal.
Nothing against Conan or anything. I've seen a little bit of the few of the episodes and like on YouTube and whatnot, and they're all right. I just don't watch TV.
All right. No, that's all right. You don't have to watch anything. That's okay. It's all right.
I mean, I'm pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's all right. John, you're not saying much over there. You gotta say some words, and you gotta tell us. What do you think?
Actually, I don't watch TV at home, so it doesn't really matter to me.
It's that streaming porn. It takes all your time, right?
Yeah.
a lot of porn, right, John?
No, actually, I don't have any kind of a television plan. I don't. If I watch anything, it's generally on Netflix, through the internet, and to hell with everything else.
Do you watch TV on the internet through Netflix?
Well, I mean,
TV
TV
programs?
shows, yeah.
Yeah, see, so you do watch TV indirectly.
Yeah, but it's not TV per se. Is sitting down at a regular time, having to sit through commercials and watch. Conan isn't something you're going to find.
Conan.
Whatever.
Conan.
Okay, you might find Conan on Netflix, but not Conan. I don't. Sit down to try to track down those shows through other venues just to watch it would probably cut into my game time, which I don't have a hell of a lot in it.
And you play lots of games.
Yes, I don't have a lot of game time anyway. So,
All right. Moving on. Talking about Cablevision Time Warner, which is a unit of measurement. Unit of TBS, and all that. I'm trying to segue here, folks. Cablevision, Time Warner, and Comcast have opened their Wi-Fi hotspots to each other. So basically, the deal here is, so if you're a Comcast customer, you can now use hotspots by Time Warner and Cablevision. Obviously, they're trying to compete with AT&T's little feature of Wi-Fi, and so on and so forth.
you're making Kyle fall asleep.
What?
Somebody was falling asleep there. They're snoring. I heard it through the headphones.
Yeah, John. Yes.
And it wasn't me.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you guys think about this? I mean, is this obviously Comcast, Time Warner, Cablevision? They're joining forces. I mean, they're usually at each other's throats, but then again, they're not usually in the same market together. But so now, if you have your trusty iPad like Joe does, Joe's not a Comcast customer. Anybody a Comcast customer here? Can we raise your hands? Anybody? No.
No one would know.
John is.
Cue the cricket sounds.
So John, you get free Wi-Fi.
I do.
You will. You do.
Okay.
You don't know that?
No.
Yeah. You get Wi-Fi now, John, through Comcast, Xfinity,
Okay.
and Time Warner if you're in the Time Warner area, and Cablevision. You should be so happy.
All right.
No one has any comments on that.
No.
All right. I'm going to kick this.
Someone does? I think
Joe?
it's a good thing. It doesn't hurt them, but it doesn't. It's a sort of a normal. It's not that unexpected. Their coverage doesn't overlap each other, and they're not really in direct competition with each other.
Right.
If it had been Comcast and I don't know, say Verizon that had done this, that would have been a big surprise because they're trying to rip each other's throats out.
Well, who cares, though? Fios is going to beat everybody someday, right?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
I might get it in about 20 years. I
No,
hate this area.
You will not be that lucky, really. You won't be.
The remotes.
In 20 years, we'll just probably have the internet implanted into our heads.
You wish. I'm going to toss this next story over to Kyle. Kyle submitted this one. Maybe Kyle can explain this. Neil Armstrong. This is like a pay-per-view. Ready? Neil Armstrong, guy who walked on the moon,
Is that who that was?
said one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And President Barack Obama. Kyle, what's this all about? Tell us, please.
And just a little history here. Obviously, this happened about 41 years ago. I was born pretty close to then. Anyway, Neil Armstrong doesn't get interviewed very often, doesn't say very much. But what he does say, people usually listen to him. And his comments with fellow astronauts was that Obama's plan for NASA was pretty much killing us off as a world space power. That's what it really amounts to. He killed off the chance for us to go to the moon. He came back on that a little bit here this last week, I think. Something about we'll have emergency capsules that we can use, and that'll be about it. So we're going to get out of the business. Obviously, they're killing off the space shuttle, and I hope we get one locally. I haven't heard more about that. Joe might know about that, but you know what I'm saying. The point being here is, do we really not want to stop exploration, like go to the moon, that kind of stuff? I remember watching, the Apollo landing, some of them, What do you guys think? Do you think this is something we should do and save this, which is really a piddling amount of money compared to what we've been spending on other things lately? So, what do you think?
Well, I think, unfortunately, with the advent of technology and the way things are right now, people don't care about going to the moon generally. I'm not talking about the nerds like us and geeks like us. I'm talking about normal, everyday people. They probably don't care. And, unfortunately, all going to space will, a lot of those things help us cure diseases and research and everything. But you know what? It's unfortunate. I personally think it's a great idea for us to explore. We saw a IMAX film about the Hubble Space Telescope, and I got to say, when you look at our world and how much and how huge our universe really is, and we're just this one little dust speck in this whole world and whole universe. We need to explore. We need to know, and so I think we should be cutting other programs. We should get out of wars that we shouldn't be involved with. We should deoccupy countries that we don't need to be in anymore, and put money towards research and put money towards exploration and that sort of thing. That's my opinion anyway. But Joe, do you have any opinions?
Well, I think there's a couple different points of view on this that I have. I agree. I think space exploration is important. I think it would be really great to be going to the moon and eventually going to Mars. But I just real quick searching through this, I found back in 2003 when George W. Bush initially announced this as a goal, Buzz Aldrin actually, here's a quote from him. He said that the goal of sending astronauts back to the moon was more like reaching for past glory than striving for new triumphs. And that's Buzz Aldrin, which is the second guy to have walked on the moon after Neil Armstrong. So,
yeah,
and that was 2003, so that was a few years ago. But 7. But it kind of goes both directions. I don't think NASA, if at least money wise, is that efficient.
I agree with that.
I think it's probably more efficient than the military is. However, I also think that the idea of awarding contracts to civilian businesses could make space exploration more efficient, more cost effective. I don't think those private businesses should be the country of Russia. But
we don't have much of a choice after the space shuttle goes down. How else are we going to get there?
Well,
Hitchhike?
not right now, but there are a bunch of different companies that have been working on ways to launch, and there's a few companies that are launching successful satellites now, commercial satellites. That you don't have to go through NASA or
you got
a government
rockets
agency to do that now.
Rockets. I mean, hell, even NASA is they were working on some sort of major rocket replacement. I don't know if that's still going to occur or not.
No.
They were working on what was called the Constellation program, and I remember reading a lot about this stuff, but I don't have the details right in front of me.
They test fired one.
Yeah, they did test fire one of the cargo modules, which basically looks like a giant, or looks like the external tank portion of the shuttle launched sitting on top of one of the rockets, and it's a double stage type of affair. But it was just a pure cargo thing, and they just test launched an empty one to make sure that the solid fuel rocket worked without any issues, and it did work successfully. Even if funds are replaced to make what's actually going to be called the Orion whole program, and I heard something recently about some of those funds are actually coming back because of the large amount of complaints the public have made about this. Even if that Orion program gets back on track, it's still not going to be in place until 2015. So we're still going to be relying on private industry and Russia to launch our astronauts for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
So, it sucks. This is the way it's going to be, at least for a little while. But I don't think that today's kids look at astronauts and space exploration the same way that I
do,
remember
yeah.
looking at it when I was a kid.
I agree. I mean, it's a shame.
Yeah.
You know,
The rocket thing actually hits home with a friend of mine. Actually lives in Utah, and saw the test firing of the engines that they were making, and he lost his job about 2 months ago because they've been cutting all these things. So I guess it affects people directly too. But I don't know. I just remember it being great watching the space exploration, especially when Joe was a little boy. When you were just little, watching the first space shuttles go up and stuff like that was really quite cool. So, yeah.
what do you think, David? You're sitting quiet over there.
I
You're relatively
I haven't
young
really
guy.
followed it that much, and I'm kind of disappointed that my daughter may not be able to see something like that when she's young. I remember sitting in school, they brought out some old piece of crap console TV up on a stand and had all of us in the gym watching this 19-inch TV, watching one of the space shuttles go up, and then of course it blew up.
Yeah.
That was the last one that I remember seeing.
Do you have any interest in space and the whole exploration programs and that sort of thing?
I did when I was younger. I haven't really followed up on it recently in my adult years. I used to read up on it all the time, borrow books from the library and read up on them and everything. And back when Pluto was considered a planet. Not so much anymore. Not out of lack of interest, just for whatever reason I just haven't.
What about you, John? I mean, you're from the era of Apollo and Mercury, and not to date you, but you probably remembered some of that stuff, right? When you were little, maybe just a little bit.
Everything from 6th grade on back is a blank.
Yeah, it's all that potty
Too much
did.
drugs?
Yeah.
What?
No. Yeah.
You forgot about
actually-
your helping inventing fire?
Yeah.
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, something about the wheel and the insurance it takes to get it going as an invention.
Yeah, that whole thing was just a round and round process. As far as the actual, sitting down and watching the launch and stuff, no, there's no recollection or memories of that. I didn't really get, other than knowing that we had gone to the moon and who had stepped on it and walked in and all that. But the it wasn't until the real shuttle stuff that kind of came interesting.
Right. Well, I want to go back. I think all of us kind of agree that space is cool and we want to make it happen. So hopefully something can be done to help save the programs and things can change and stuff. So
It would be nice, but
Yeah.
I just thought I'd get you guys' opinion.
No.
I appreciate that. I know it's not really all that nerdy, but
it's
well,
geeky. No, it's very geeky. I mean, we all grew up on space stuff and Star Trek, and hell, we were watching Star Trek before the show. So
I respect your guys' opinions, so thought I'd ask.
It's not like you're asking the soccer moms or anything like that.
you guys want to rebuild a space shuttle right now? Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. No, and I have been down to the Kennedy Space Center there in Florida, walked around and watched look at some of the shuttle engines they have on display there, and it was cool. There was one of them, I don't know which one, but it was back. There was one sitting on the pad, prepping.
Right on.
And we got to see that. I mean, some cool stuff there.
Hey, Joe, are we going to go down? What's the deal?
I'd like to. I know Cameron is Cameron's sister, I think, or some relation, is working on. Or no, I'm sorry, Mariah, Cameron's girlfriend's sister, is working on coming up with some kind of program to go down there, or some kind of organized group. I've been wanting to do it. It actually happens to be September 16th is the scheduled launch date for the final shuttle mission.
Yeah, and what day is that,
By
Joe?
pure irony, complete random chance, happens to exactly coincide with my 30th birthday.
Yeah, and very close to someone else's 40th birthday who's in the chat room there. He will remain nameless, except it starts with an M and ends with an CH, so you guys can pick out who it is.
So I think it would be great. I really would like to go down. The current plan, as I understand it, is to go down there, spend maybe a few days in Orlando, or get down there a day or so early before the launch, see the launch if it happens. If it doesn't happen, on schedule, if it gets delayed or something like that, then hang around either in Orlando or Disney World for maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe even 5 days, just to make sure that we catch that launch.
Well, what we got to do, Joe, is kind of like my 30th is plan. We got to set some plans. You got to have organization. Organization's key.
Well, I talked about it a bunch of times earlier this year, and nobody sounded interested. So,
but I said I was interested. What the fuck?
So anyway, but anyway, it's still on the table.
What?
Hasn't been avoided.
No.
I'm waiting to hear back from
I'm
Cameron
gonna let
and
you
find
brush
out
that
what
off.
the story is there. But
I would brush that off. Yeah. No, many people really seemed interested. What?
Screw the shuttle.
Me did.
well, hey, okay then. I'll look more at it. It's. I will find out what it's going to take.
I can price line a Motel 6, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, we'll stay in a Motel 6 near Disneyland.
It's kind of cool knowing the date of that now.
You'll know that
because
the
I
light's
actually
on
turned
for you.
29 on the 2nd.
Here's a story that Joe would love to talk about. The iPad. Some news coming from Engadget that the iPad grabbed 0.03% of all internet web traffic in its first week on Earth. Now, as Apple has cited that they sold over 500,000 units, it's not surprising that all these people out there wanted to know more about the iPad. Joe has his iPad. I've thought about it really strongly whether or not I want one. I'm still in the undecided camp. How does this make you feel, Joe? Makes you feel pretty good, doesn't it?
It's interesting, and I think it's important. I mean, 0.03% of all web traffic doesn't sound like a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, it is quite a lot. The iPhone averages 0.15% of all web traffic every month. And BlackBerries, that's all BlackBerries. So every version of BlackBerry is 0.04%. And how long has BlackBerry been out? Even Android is only 0.07%. Right. So 0.03% within the first week of the product even being launched is really, really amazing. I think it's great. I think the iPod's a great device. I know a lot of people bitch about it. I've seen so many people complain about it not having Flash who don't really understand that Flash is just annoying and crashy. But I've been really happy with my device. I used it some this weekend. I use it a lot at work. It's just way more convenient than dragging a laptop around or anything like that.
I'm considering it. I have a jailbroken iPhone, so I might do that whole Wi-Fi access point. Another cool thing is Sprint is really pushing this thing right now, where they have something called the Overdrive, which is like a 4G/3G a little mini Wi-Fi access point that is portable, and they came out with this iPad pouch or portfolio that has a little pouch on the outside for the Overdrive, so you can have 4G speeds on Wi-Fi on your little iPad, and it's all like in one little cool little kit. So Sprint's trying to get involved with this as well. Did you see that, Joe, at all?
Yeah, I did see that. It sounds really cool. I love that idea. It would be even better if they had a reasonable amount of 4G coverage.
They do it here in Seattle, which that's all I care about.
Well, they do in Portland, but it ends on the hill about 3 miles outside of town. So yeah, I think it's great. If I lived in Sherwood or somewhere closer to town than Newburgh, closer to Portland, it would be great. I would have it. It doesn't.
Overall, it's cool for the major cities that have coverage.
Yeah, it's cool for the major cities. If you're in an area that has 4G coverage, it's great. If you're not, jailbreak your iPhone, install MyWi or something.
But maybe there would be an opportunity with the new iPhone 4 HD Super Duper Edition that you might be able to do that, right? Like your own Sprint's coming out with some phones that give you that ability to do that right out of the box without doing any type of hacking or anything, right? I mean, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, Sprint has a phone that's it's called the HTC Evo, which has been announced. It should be coming out this summer. It's an Android-based phone, and it'll be an added cost, but it'll have a built-in wireless router. It's a 4G phone, 4G capable phone, built-in wireless router that should be able to support between 8 and 9 devices, which sounds great if you're in 4G. The biggest problem, of course, with Sprint is when you're not on 4G, when you're in the 3G data network, you can't use your data and talk on the phone at the same time.
That's right. But
So-
AT&T you can.
With AT&T, you can, as what's his
T-Mobile.
name from Idiocracy has told us so many times.
That's right. Luke Wilson, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is the
God, I
most
hate
average.
those.
He is the most average person on Earth, according to Idiocracy.
Well, I figure that just in phones in general, I mean, use it as a device or use it as a phone. I mean, in general, for just human purposes, I mean, you don't necessarily use both at the same time like that.
I've used it a couple times. It's very useful.
Well, and the other thing is, if you're connected to data and browsing a website, you may or may not be able to receive phone calls, that sort of thing. Or you will lose your connection when your data connection when you actually go to answer your phone.
Well,
But,
I mean,
I have used it a
just in
bunch of
terms
times. I've
of
gone
like,
back and looked through emails, and I've brought up websites to get an address, that sort of thing.
I meant more to the point, like when you're actually using this device as the router, and so essentially you have a bunch of devices connected to it. Supposedly, I mean, in that case, I mean, it seems to be impractical to try to attempt to use it as a phone as well. I mean, for the most part, it's that. I mean, to me, it's a small device.
Well,
But-
if you're
and-
using it as the 4G router, and this is the interesting thing about 4G is because 4G is a completely different network system, it doesn't actually carry the voice data. It only carries the internet traffic or the actual
Right.
data portion.
Yeah.
So you can still be on the HDSP or whatever Sprint's data network is, or their voice network, and use the 4G data portion at the same time, if you're in 4G coverage, of course. So because they're separate radio systems. So it gets convoluted and complicated and weird, but it's a very geek thing. It is a really cool feature. Like I said, if the next iPhone comes out, it would be really nice if it at least supported another provider besides AT&T. And if it still was stuck with AT&T only, they finally turned on tethering, which technically the iPhone supported since OS 3.2, I believe.
Yeah, well, what's happening with that, really? I mean, come on.
AT&T is, love the phone, hate the provider. I think that's pretty much what it all comes down to. I really like the iPhone. I really am not pleased with AT&T as a service provider.
Last couple more geeky stories. This is turning into the Apple geek portion of our show.
is it?
Coachella, which is thanks, cat. My
Kitty decided to get up on the table.
Kitty decided to turn off my laptop. And she did.
I need your attention now.
Coach, yes, Hart. Hold on. You went up there. There you go. All right. She wanted up on the windows. So if you're watching the live video right now, you might see her walk across the screen. So get this, Coachella, which is a huge music festival in the San Francisco Bay Area. Put out an iPhone app, so you could find out about who's performing and the different things that are happening at the event. I think it's a good idea. iPhone apps are very, very big. Well, here's the funniest thing. Well, they have an iPhone app, and if you have it and you go to their music festival, guess what? It's not going to work. The whole festival is basically one big dead zone. So there you go. When contacted, representatives from AT&T relayed their basic corporate spiel via Twitter, quote, "We're working on optimizing performance out there." They also reminded us that the festival has AT&T Wi-Fi, which you don't have to pay for if you're not an AT&T customer, and flat out does not work. So anyway. So there you go. AT&T, the greatest network in the world. Moving on.
I don't know. Why didn't they put out a bunch of these 3G microcells? They have them. They could have thrown like 15 or 20 of them out there and, boom. They now have signal for, like 50 people.
I guess with such a music festival as it is, they probably didn't think that. Well, I think the festival itself probably would not want to pay for it, but
Yeah.
Well, it's
and then if
making AT&T
AT&T's
look bad. They are
Oh,
the ones
yeah.
who should have thought about that. But I mean, who cares?
mean,
like
you
I
know,
said,
if-
hate the provider, love the phone.
Right, and I mean, if
Agreed.
AT&T is going for the money grab, then that's probably another thing that's a barrier.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, there's a little thing called South by Southwest, and what happened on the first South by Southwest, service was really crappy down there, and so this last one, AT&T was very big on getting in portable cells and bringing in trunking lines and fiber and to have a better connection and that sort of thing, and they did. And so now maybe this will happen at this one next year. But then again, you know, not everybody may have the iPhone come around because, you know, people might just jump on and grab one from Verizon. So there you go. Which will probably have the iPhone.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. You never know. But you won't be able to talk and surf at the same time. Yeah. So there we go. There's our geek stories. If you have any geek stories that you want to send to us, send them our way. Mailbag@geekgamerradio.com is the email address. That's mailbag@geekgamerradio.com. Send stuff there. Send pictures, like cosplay pictures.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, now he speaks. Now, John, did you see those cosplay pictures that
I
that
saw
was
them.
sent? Weren't those sick?
Those are nice.
Those are very nice, very smooth.
That's see the vote from the chat room. Cosplay pictures, guys.
Yeah, thumbs up there.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there you go. But yeah, send your questions, comments. If you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know. You know, speaking of those cosplay pictures, Dead or Alive character Kasumi. There's some pictures. We'll have links in our show notes, and those are nice.
Oh, you're back to the pictures.
Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Next.
Okay, next story. In case you guys didn't know, Left 4 Dead 2 is going to have some downloadable content coming out this next week. Something called The Passing. Now, it was originally supposed to come out towards the tail end of March, but I did miss it by that much. The Passing will run you 560 Microsoft points. Quick, Kyle, how much money is that?
Couldn't tell you.
All right, $7. Close.
Thank you. It was close, yeah.
500 Microsoft points is quite a bit, actually.
Well, not as much as the add-on pack for Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
Okay. The main hook here is being a crossover between the survivors in the original game and the survivors in the sequel. The Passing also adds in some new weapons and infected to the mix as well, including specialty weapons like an M60 heavy machine gun. Although Valve didn't give any specific date for when it would be released, they did say that they'll have more details on the Left 4 Dead 2 blog next week.
An M60, huh? Wow, those things are known for great jamming. Sweet.
Yeah. That's right. So there you go. Are you going to pick this up, Mr. Kyle? Are you still playing games?
I haven't played an FPS since last September, I think.
So Call of Duty 2.
Shut up.
All right.
No, I just haven't. I really haven't had a chance to play much. Been trying to work and all that good stuff.
All right.
Well, he's been playing other games.
Occasionally I'll play WoW, but not nearly as much. Yeah, I used to play Call of Duty 2, and I was okay at that game, but that'd be about it.
What about you, Joe? Is this an instant add-on?
Well, it's talking about it for the Xbox. Is it coming out for PC at the same time?
There's no news on that.
It's coming out for the PC and it's going to be free.
Is it going to be free on the PC?
Yep.
Then I will be getting it.
Are you sure?
Honestly, I would probably pay like $5 for it even if it wasn't coming out for free. But I mean, at least on the console, it's pretty obvious Microsoft wants their money. So.
Oh yeah, but it's not just Microsoft though. Valve wants money.
Oh, it's all Microsoft. Valve tried to make the last DLC free, and Microsoft wouldn't let them.
So why wouldn't they just say, "All right, it's $1"?
Well, it's Microsoft.
Microsoft sets the price, I guess. I don't know, but
no.
I mean, if
can't
Valve's
believe
releasing
that.
it for free on the PC, they can probably afford to release it for free on the console and stuff like that.
I can't believe that though. Microsoft is setting the price for Valve's downloadable content. I don't believe that. No way.
So you're victimizing You're
So
not
she's-
victimizing.
what she's saying is
someone, more
Valve
you're
is not as
making
powerful
Steam
as
the villain?
Microsquash?
Or Valve the villain?
No,
Or-
no. What I'm saying here is David's saying that Microsoft is making them charge $7. That doesn't make sense. I don't believe that.
Microsoft is
That's
making
the way
them
it worked
charge.
last time.
What's
Yeah,
that?
maybe Microsoft is making them charge something, and 500 points or whatever. I mean, because can't you buy 500 points just by itself?
Yes, you can.
They
Yeah,
actually
so-
changed
so
the
they-
pricing on that.
Yeah, so Microsoft doesn't want you to be able to buy a card for 500 points and then have 0 net points at the end. You have to buy more points than what you want to spend so that you end up having money that you can't actually use.
Right.
Well, that happens
points
already
that you can't
anyway.
actually use.
That happens already anyway, though.
Right, but I mean that's the reasoning behind 560 points, not 500 straight points.
Right.
Well, the other part too is that, like you mentioned, where Microsoft is setting a price point to a certain degree is because, well, we're going to be providing this content through our servers. It's not like you're going to be, hosting it on your servers for the console, all that stuff. So, I mean, they have some say, but I don't know as much as like to say a large amount of it is being said by Microsoft to actually say. I mean, to set the price point.
Well, that being said, it's coming out, and
There
you
you go.
guys will like it, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I like everything Valve does. Almost.
Name one bad Valve game.
Well, okay.
Ricochet.
The initial Steam platform really, really sucked, especially as
That's
a
not
LAN
a game.
administrator.
Ricochet, terrible.
Ricochet was fun if you knew how to play it. If you sucked at it, it sucked.
It just sucked. It sucked. Come on, it sucked.
I liked it, but then again, I remember playing the original Ricochet, which was the Tron disc game in the arcade.
There you go. That
So.
didn't suck. That was anti-suck.
It was the same game.
Speaking of John, anti-suck?
Suck.
All right, suck. All right. Next story. Man pays. Get this, a lot of money. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Is it time for a commercial?
It's time for a commercial. I forgot. Oh my god, I totally forgot. This show is sponsored by GoToMeeting. I totally forgot. And you know what? I'm going to get so in trouble. GoToMeeting is a proud sponsor of Geek Gamer Radio. GoToMeeting allows you to share your desktop on someone else's machine. Say you're a salesperson and you want to give that big spiel. Let's say you're wanting to show somebody this really cool Atari game and you're going to sell it to this person. But they want to see
Sell
it.
it.
They want to see the pictures. They want to see text. They want to see what's going on your machine. You can send it over to their machine using a neat little meeting code. And that's it. It's simple. It's a quick 3 to 5 minute download, and you're set up and ready to go. John's sneaking out of here. The commercial's over. If you want to know more about GoToMeeting and get a free 30-day trial, go to meeting.com/tech-podcasts. That's gotomeeting.com/tech-podcasts. You get a free 30-day trial, and we thank them for their support. Hopefully they'll still support us after I forgot to do the ad towards the middle of the show or towards the top of the show. But hey, you know what? They should be happy because it's a cool piece of software, and it kind of sells itself. So there you go. Back to talking about the video game, this huge video game. This game called Air Raid. It came in a baby blue cartridge with a T-shaped handle. Is very rare on its own, okay? But the box was even rarer. No one really knew what the box looked like. Well, get this. This game went up on eBay. It sold for, get this, $31,600 to a collector. Yes, it was a legitimate bid. It was sold to a, quote, passionate video game collector. What do you guys think?
The guy was on drugs.
31,000. John, I mean, would you pull the money on something like this?
No.
Your life savings, would you drain it?
No.
Do you have a life savings?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. Umberto. What about you, Umberto? Would you pull the trigger on something like this?
No.
Not even a little bit.
No, not even.
Not even.
Bit.
Let's go over to our classic gaming expert, David Miller. David, would you pull the trigger?
I'm a collector. I wouldn't shell out $31K for a crappy Atari 2600 game. I've played that game before. It sucks.
It's an Atari 2600 game. What do you expect?
There are good Atari 2600 games. That's not one of them.
All right. Joe, would you pull the trigger on something like this?
No.
All right. And for the authoritative word on this, Kyle.
No.
All right. Well,
I think we'll vote no.
We'll take care. Here's a story that might tickle your fancy.
Okay.
What the hell is
Waiting
that?
for the anticipation, I guess.
It sounds like it's 10 o'clock.
I think it's 10 o'clock.
That's right.
Oops.
Someone count the chimes.
Wait.
It's all right.
Can
I
we hear-
can't
wait,
kill
shh.
that clock. It's grandfather type.
Quiet. Let's hear it. 2, 3,
No, it's beyond that.
It's done.
4.
See.
It's 4 o'clock. All right.
We can count.
Can you count to 10?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Where was I
It's a good
going?
thing it's not 11. Somebody would have to take off
That's right.
a shoe.
Tickle your fancy. A woman from Manchester, England, is blaming an incident on her Wii Fit board for giving her a raging appetite for, get this, sex. In news which is sure to send Wii sales through the roof, Amanda Flowers, no pic here, unfortunately, slipped on her Wii Fit board, and she damaged a nerve. This led to an increase in her libido, which, according to the Daily Star, means Amanda now needs 10 sex sessions a day to be satisfied.
She needs that new Wii attachment.
God.
Oh, wait. What you're saying is this thing turned her into a teenage boy,
Something like that.
into like an 18, 19-year-old boy, right? I mean, that's what happened, right?
It, quote, began as a twinge down below before surging through my body. Sometimes it built up into a trembling orgasm, says Flowers. Well, you know what that's about. The reason she's so sex-obsessed, the Daily Star has gone too far as call her Randy, is something called persistent sexual arousal syndrome. So anyway...
Is that the thing where you're supposed to go to your doctor if it lasts for more than 4 hours?
She did.
Basically, nerve damage can occur from a lot of things. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, wasn't it even... I mean, okay. I don't necessarily have a Wii board to check the warning label on it, but isn't there a warning label on it?
There
saying
will
that-
be now.
Oh, no, not for this. I'm not talking in general
Hey,
saying
extreme horniness.
more of just like, you know, if you have to be careful with it. I mean, it's not necessarily something that's like going to be a totally safe device, right?
Now,
I mean,
yeah, and I was going to say now, John, you have a Wii. Can you tell us, have you run into this issue at all?
Well, I do not own a Wii actually.
Oh, you don't? Oh, that's right.
No.
You have a Wii disc. That's right.
Yes.
But
so but he doesn't have a Wii board either. So
no. But John just has a Wii disc. That's
Yeah.
Well, none of those will cause you nerve damage anyway.
yeah.
Well, if you hit somebody right with the Wii disc, it can cause nerve damage.
Kyle, I mean, are you on board with this? You down for this?
What?
Oh, this is so full of it. It's like the lady that that found the finger in her McDonald's
Chili?
hamburger or something. It's like, yeah, let's assume because we can. I don't believe that. I don't. Well, No Toes does apparently though. Hook her up with the phone number. That's
There
right.
you go.
Giggity.
It's probably a pretty good reason why there's no picture of this woman.
What are you trying to say?
She's probably some 600-pound cow who can't get laid to save her life.
All right, you heard it here first. She's probably a 600-pound cow, according to David. And if she's hotter than anything else, then I guess he just lost his chance
Oh, I don't really care.
to play with her Wii.
Isn't she in the UK?
She's in the UK.
So, David, are you planning on going to the UK anytime soon?
Nope.
He probably didn't have a chance.
All right. Next story, real quick. We love the PS3. Maybe not. But PS3 Slim isn't that slim, but it's slim enough that it's going to get a little add-on. Company in Japan is selling a cool little clip-on add-on that goes on top of the PS3 Slim that allows you to play games on the go, essentially, like in the back of your car, I guess, or if you want to take it to a LAN party or something like that. This little add-on will set you back about $275. You could probably import it, and it will probably be in the States at some point, maybe someday. But it's pretty neat, and it's able to display games in 720p high def. It's a nice little LCD screen. Company by the name of Hori, Hori. Hori should get together with the other group. But anyway, there you go. You guys want one?
I had no interest in that until you said the company name, because those guys make some really kick-ass arcade sticks.
Hori?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're turned on by the name of Hori.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there you go. Hori.
Good night, everybody.
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, I guess apparently the translation to English, I mean, that's Hori's the last person's last name, so I don't know about you guys. But it's like, okay.
So here we go. Final story, and then we'll move on.
This is the final story until the next one.
Yeah. There you go.
Final. For this minute.
DRM is vital to our business, according to Ubisoft. Ubisoft creative director Maxime Belland told VG 24/7 in an interview that DRM is vital to the developer's success. He also said that heavy DRM now attached to new Ubisoft releases is helping the company to continue to develop creative and innovative games. We consider that protecting our PC games is vital to our business and will allow us to continue investing in development of creative and innovative games on the PC platform. The DRM, which forces gamers to be online while they access any part of the game, has sparked controversy among the PC gaming community. Steam, the funny thing is, is also thought that the withdrawal of Silent Hunter 5 and Assassin's Creed 2 from Steam was due to the issue. In fact, it was just due to an unrelated decision. A lot of people were thinking, well, it was pulled from Steam because of this, but there was something unrelated to that, according to parties. But anyway, they're saying that right now Splinter Cell could be delayed for the PC until April 29th, which, again, Ubisoft claims is unrelated to DRM. So right now it's delayed for the PC side of it, but it will still come out on the consoles on time. We've talked about this before. I don't think we've gotten Kyle's interpretation of how he feels about the constant internet connection that is needed for some of Ubisoft's games. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all, Kyle.
Actually,
Single-player
I have
games.
read quite a bit about it.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous. So you happen to be a Comcast customer like Joe used to be, and I remember this distinctly, where 1 minute it'd be up, and the next minute you'd be staring at your screen, banging on it, going, "Do something," and you'd lose the connection. So if you have a bad connection, you can't play the game you just spent $50-$60 on.
Right.
And it seems I heard somewhere that you can't save either if you lose the save and it takes you all the way back or something like that on some of their games. And isn't that a little bit ridiculous?
Yeah.
Hello. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think it's a little over the top. It's a step, but I'm not sure if it's a step I want to step off a cliff with. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I gotta say that this needs to be knocked off, and I think it's a catch-22, because if you don't pay for the games, then the companies are like, well, we're just going to stop making games for the platform. Then
I think they should.
You just let them do it, huh?
I think they should. They should have just stayed with consoles. They're doing very well with consoles. I mean, to me, it's very confusing why they actually say, to me, because of the fact that I just had a history with Ubisoft is saying as having titles that are on the consoles, and that now they're saying that to be vital, they have to have PC games, and then on top of that, to be vital, they have to have DRM on top of it. So to me, it's like, huh?
Is the PC
like,
platform
why?
dead then?
PC platform dead for Ubisoft?
Is it dead in general because of this?
Well,
I
stuff like
wouldn't-
this is what's going to kill it.
Ubisoft changing
doubt it.
anything? No.
I doubt it.
It's so freaking frustrating, man. What are we going to do? What do you think about this, Joe? I mean, obviously Ubisoft is not going to back down from this constant connection crap.
No, but I'm looking at the list of games they have coming out, at least for 2010, and I don't see any of them that I have to have. So I'm just not going to buy any Ubisoft games, and that'll take care of it, at least for me. I mean, they'll still be screwing with everybody. It'll still be bad, but you know, it's just a question of time. I think they will use this as an excuse to abandon PC platform. I'm surprised they haven't already. They did have a few good games back in the day, but they've already pretty much destroyed all the houses, the development houses that made those games. I mean, I think of Far Cry 1 was a pretty phenomenal game, and then they ticked off the Cry team and they made Crysis instead, and Far Cry 2 sucked, and they have Far Cry 3 planned, and it's probably going to be just like Far Cry 2, terrible.
Suck.
They have the new Prince of Persia game coming out, which I believe is the game based on the movie, based on the game. It's based on the game. So that's my prediction is it's probably not going to be very good. You can't go back and forth that many times. I'm like I said, I'm just not going to. Ubisoft is. I'm going to just send my gaming dollars to companies that actually seem to care about what we think and how we feel about things.
So I guess it's just Valve then for you, huh?
No, I mean Valve's one of them. Obviously, I'm in on the Star Trek Online. I've sent a fair amount of money Blizzard's way with World of Warcraft and all their menagerie of real-time strategies. I'll probably pick up StarCraft 2 at some point. The only thing with Blizzard that I'm a little worried about is Activision is going to screw them up. Mm-hmm. They already are working on it. So, yeah, I mean, right now, the only company that seems to be really, really actually care, at least PC gaming, really seems to care what their customers actually think and how their customers act and how their customers think of the development house and the publisher is Valve, which is really, really, I mean, surprising to say that we're really down to just one good company in the entire PC gaming industry.
Well, what about Activision?
Since when did they?
Yeah,
Bobby
I mean,
Kotick.
They care? What?
Since when? Just because before it's the pre-Bobby Kotick era. So right now we're not. We don't have.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a case of wait and see. Unfortunately, there are too many people who think PC gaming is a dying or dead platform, and those are mostly people who don't mind playing with two joysticks instead of playing with a keyboard and mouse.
Oh yeah, everybody has to play with a joystick, but
Every once in a while.
All right.
Yeah, well, we don't have to
On
be
that
online
note.
to do that.
On that note, let's talk about the releases for this week. Not a great release list for this week, but there is one game coming out for the PC. It's coming out on Steam. It's The Misadventures of PB Winterbottom. That's coming out for the PC. PlayStation 3 game and Xbox 360 game. This is going to be on the Arcade Live. David Miller's talked about this on our website at GeekGamerRadio.com. Afterburner Climax is coming out this week.
Stupid name, but I really want to play it.
It's a good game. I played it in the arcade, actual real arcade.
Yeah, bite me.
No thanks. Maybe that girl would. Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. Yep, that's a game coming out for the 360.
Yeah, it used to be a PC game actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a bunch of Sherlock Holmes games that were on PC, and then I was surprised that this title came to console.
And then finally, coming out for the Wii, two titles, extraordinary titles, because the Wii is always good with these titles. All-Star Karate coming out for the Wii, and Monster Hunter Tri.
3.
Well, they're actually calling it Tri.
Got it.
Yeah, that. I know it's 3, but the official title is Monster Hunter Tri, TRI. And also, there's a classic controller bundle as well if you want one of those Nintendo Wii classic controllers. So it's now time for that part of the show where we talk about the games that we played over the past 2 weeks. And so let's start it with Mr. John Kessler. John, what about you? What'd you play? John?
Yes.
You have to drag him out of the chat room again or
Hello?
something. I don't
Total
know.
brain fart. No, what did I play? It was
Wow.
Battlefield Bad Company 2.
On cue.
Battlefield Bad Company 2 is
Yep.
so here's the question, is that a good game?
It seems to be so far. There's a few little quirks, but every game has them. Not everything. Nobody's perfect.
So do you like them? Do you like the quirks? Do you like the game overall?
I like the game overall. One of my little grieves so far has been the fact that every time you restart the game and you have going through your classes, you have to pick what your settings are. I mean, but then again, I'm thinking back to Call of Duty to where you can preset up your kit layout.
Right.
You're talking about the loadouts for your weaponry.
Yeah, for the kit, if you're a sniper or an engineer, it's like every time you say, okay, today I'm going to, you can't pre-select it before you join the server. You have to join the server and then spend 2 minutes or half the game, loading your kit out before you even start. And the other kind of goofy one is I've noticed that until you actually join, actually got in game, then you can see the scoreboard and see how many people on each team. You can't as you're waiting to go, join before you click join. You can't see how the teams are stacked or what. I mean, it automatically kind of balances them, but just a couple little oddities that I've seen so far. Other than that, it's been pretty good.
All right. What about you, Umberto? What games past 2 weeks?
Past 2 weeks.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks. What have you been playing?
I've been playing Battlefield Bad Company 2 with you guys and also Borderlands.
Nice.
I did pick that up. It's a first person, but also it's a co-op play as well. You can have up to 4 people play it's kind of like a first person style of post-apocalyptic Earth game that plays a little bit like well, not to really compare it to, but I mean, when you play Diablo, when you when you kill certain creatures and stuff like that, there's the wondrous things that come out of them. It occurs here as well, like such as guns coming out of beasts or whatnot. But other than that, though, I mean, it's been a good fun. Other than that, also on the console, I've been playing Infamous on the PS3, and that was a previous title, of course, on the lines of being a kind of a sandbox world, but also having a plot as well.
Very cool. All right.
And you get to play a superhero that with electricity, of course, or a guy who attempts to.
What was that?
There's a beep from something.
I don't know. Maybe you're overheating. All right. I don't know. All right. What about you, Mr. Joe Falbey?
I've been playing Just Cause 2 and Battlefield Bad Company 2, primarily. Yeah.
We saw your arm there, John.
Was that?
The split shot was up, so we
Wow.
saw you reach over.
Yeah, I know.
To adjust the camera.
He
Adjusting the mic. Yeah, when you had it going, it was cutting
The
him off at
microphone?
chin.
No, I didn't have.
No.
You didn't have to adjust the microphone.
On the video feed, when I was watching it, when you were talking, it was cutting you off at the chin.
Oh, he wants a better shot of you. He wants to see you better.
Hey, I mean, if we're gonna have the cameras, might as well do it right.
I guess.
Okay. All right. What about you, Kyle? Anything at all?
No, just played an hour, maybe an hour and a half, a while in the last couple of weeks.
All right. David,
What?
never mind.
Oh yeah, I'm about 5.5 hours in the prototype. I beat Ghostbusters for the PlayStation 2, and I've been playing a couple of little PC games. One of them's called Spelunky, and it's kind of like a side-scrolling roguelike style game, and the PC version of Cave Story.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
That came out on WiiWare recently. It costs like $12 on WiiWare, and it's free on the PC, but the Wii version has like enhanced graphics and sound and music and some special game modes and whatnot. But PC version is good enough for me. It's hell or fun. Hard as all hell, but
did you say you
real
were playing
fun.
Prototype? You said you're playing Prototype as well?
Yeah, I was playing that up until I got the Skype call.
Oh, okay. Because that's one of those games too. That's kind of a sandbox world.
Yeah, normally I
You're
don't even
playing,
like sandbox games like that, but I'm really liking Prototype.
Okay.
Well, very cool, man. That's pretty awesome. Wow. I'm just messing around. All right. I got to play Battlefield Bad Company 2.
You did.
I did with you guys.
You did.
I did, and that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, and with Joe.
With Joe
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
It was good times.
All right.
Until we ran out. Oh, then we had what? Our fifth man, which is kind of not. It's kind of sucked. You can only have 4-man squads, but.
It does suck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. But I was going, there's only 4 classes. I guess you're supposed to have one guy from each class and work as a team.
Yes.
What do you mean work as a team? What does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. We like to know what you're playing. Let us know. Mailbag at geekgamerradio.com. Just give everyone a real quick cue and announcement. We will be at the LANFest, Intel LANFest Infernoland this coming weekend. That's April 23rd, 24th, and 25th in DuPont, Washington on campus. We'll be there. Joe will be there as well. No David and Kyle. You could call in sick, right? We could kidnap you. Kyle?
I hope so.
Oh, okay. Sound like you fell asleep there, buddy.
No, I'm not trying not to. I've had 2.5 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's too much, man.
I used to get that much sleep whenever I worked there.
So that's what we'll be. That's what's going on with us. So if you want to hang out with us, just look for this reader board. There'll be a reader board going off, and we'll be around that reader board. One of those electronic reader boards. Right, John? Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.